Hey guys, welcome to another video. So, the original idea for this video was to go through the history of Scharhrot and tell you all the cool things, how it was played, and all that stuff. But then I realized, wait, I would have to look up metagame coverage and a lot of other stuff in order to figure out who was playing the deck and, like why the deck was good. Yeah, I frankly don't have enough time for that. That sounds like a video I need to do on another time. But for this video, we are actually going to be doing a totally original thing where I'm going to be going over all the Scharhrot cards that have come out, basically cards that are supposed to be more specific to Shahar. I'm going to be going over all of those and explaining their game plan to you, and hopefully, I'm basically ripping off Golden Nova, but making it Vanguard flavored, and, yay. Yeah, let's get into it with the grade 1s. So, really quick, Vanguard has went through 3 different reboots. Today, we will be going through the first 2. The OG Vanguard era, G era of Vanguard, and then that was rebooted in 2018 into V. And then in 2021, I think Overdress started. Anyways, yeah, let's get into the first card we have here, which is Succubus of Pure Love. This card is as follows. When this unit is placed on RC from hand, cost, reveal a grade 3 from your hand, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 card with Shahar in its card name, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. Then it has continuous hand. While you're paying the cost for stride, this unit gets grade +2. So this card is pretty nice, all things considered. Obviously, if you're playing premium, this is a great card because it can be... It's like one of the crit triggers for stride, but on a grade 1. It also searches out Shahar. Now, this can search pretty much any Shahar. You just need to have a grade 3 in hand, which, in case you don't know, a Vanguard, you need to ride up continuously every turn. You can't ride down, only up unless the card effect states otherwise. So you need to go, so it goes 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's how the game keeps its power in check. But yeah, this card is pretty okay. It does have a V version, which we will get into, but this card is, I would say it's better than in premium, but it's still, I'm gonna say it's good. And then moving on, we have the V version, which is continuous RC. I believe it's RC. It's either VC or RC, or both. This unit, if a card was put into your soul this turn, this unit gets +5k until end of, yeah. And then its other effect is auto VC RC when this unit is placed. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them. Alright. Choose 1 grade 3 from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and then if you put a card, discard a card. This is pretty good, all things considered. This is the generic grade 3 searcher for Dark Irregulars. So yeah, no. I would say, yeah, this is a great card as well. Just because you want grade 3 searchers in V Premium and Premium. I'm not sure if you would run the original over this, probably just because it can be used for the full cost of a stride, or well, I don't know. I guess it depends. If you don't find a grade 3, you're kind of screwed on its search effect. I would say it really depends on what your priorities are on the deck. Do you want more stride fodder, or do you want more insurance for your grade 3s? Anyways, the next grade 1 we have is Tiger Plunderer. This card goes as follows: continuous RC Darkness. Active if cards have been put into your soul this turn. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Scharhrot and its card name, this unit gets power +1 for each card in your soul. That is actually very good for the deck. So in case you don't know, Dark Regulars are all focused around building huge amounts of cards in your soul, and this is pretty good. It has the boost ability, so it can be just an absolutely massive booster, or it can be an absolutely massive attacker, or you could put two of these in the same column and just have an absolutely massive, just terrifying column. Overall, I'm going to say this card is actually pretty good. Even if it is a 7k body, that doesn't really matter that much, because you'll probably have around 15 to 20 cards in Soul, so it's gaining a lot. Yeah, no, I think that's all the things you can really do with this. So yeah, moving on, we now have the grade 2s. So the first grade 2 we have here is Brennan Vampire. Very mysterious. Anyways, this card goes as follows. Auto Rearguard Circle, Generation Break 1. So Generation Break just refers to how many cards you have face up in your G-Zone, which isn't hard to do. Darkness, active if the cards have been put into your soul during this turn. Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Shahar in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, gets +1 until end of the battle for each card in your soul, and then he goes into soul and draws you a card. Pretty good, actually. This card is a really great, just great combo extender. He's only a Counterblast 1, not too heavy. There are ways to countercharge in Dark Irregulars. Not many, but there are some. I don't really see many problems with this card. It's just a nice card that can get really big, and then it gives you more soul to feel your effects, and then draws you a card on top of that. That's really good. Yeah, no, this is a great card for the deck. I definitely think if you're playing Premium, you should play this in your Shahar deck. So, this one gets a thumbs up from me. Moving on, we have Doppelvampire. Doppelvampire goes as follows. Auto Rearguard Circle, Generation 1, Darkness. When he attacks a Vanguard, if the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, this unit gets +5k until the end of that battle. And if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more until the end of the battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards from hand to 2 Guardian Circles. So, this card is good. It's pretty good. So the whole idea with Shahar in general is retiring your opponent's rear guards and then guard restrict. And this is one of those cards. Obviously, it's not specific. You can use it in any Dark Irregulars deck. But it does fit the theme of Scharhrot. Yeah, it's really great. I'm thinking of plays right now you could do with this. It's really good. Okay, I shouldn't say it's really good. It's okay. It gains a little bit of power. Oh, is it? Sorry, I'm really trying to gauge the power level. You see, grade 0 cards are gonna be pretty much all your trigger units. Actually, yeah, no, this card is great. I'm like fooling myself into thinking this card isn't good. No, this card is good. Because if your opponent can't call grade 0s, they can't call any of their trigger units, which is going to have the most shield. So this is basically almost an unblockable attack. The only thing really your opponent could do to block this, granted you have 15 or more in soul, which isn't hard to do. One thing you could do, they could intercept or guard with some grade 1s and 2s. But yeah, no, this card is okay. It's definitely going to be a late game card, that's for sure, though. And moving on, we have his V version, which goes as follows. Auto VC RC. When he attacks, Soul Charge 1, and your opponent can intercept to the end of that battle. And then Act Soul, cost counter +1, return this card to your hand. So, applications for this are kind of... It does give you more soul now, which is nice. It gives you more soul. But that being said, I don't think it's like amazingly good or anything like that. And the reason I say that is it does give you some soul charge. It's nice your opponent can't intercept. Um, but I don't know. I really think you're only going to be playing this for that soul charge because the act soul effect is just kind of okay. It doesn't really. We'll actually get into another card pretty soon here that has a similar effect, and it's an iffy effect because you want cards in Soul. You want cards in Soul and Dark Irregulars, and this is proactively going against that. Really, I think a return to hand from Soul effect the card itself would have to be crazy for that effect to really mean anything. I don't think this is really gonna be. Yeah, no, I don't think you would choose to play this in your Shahar lists, even in like maybe you would play in V Premium if you just really like the aesthetic, which I wouldn't blame you. I would probably play this in my V list as well, but it's definitely not seeing play in Premium, that's for sure. And moving on, we have Flirtatious Succubus, and she goes as follows. Auto V or rear, if you have a Dark Rather's Vanguard, you may soul charge 1. This original version, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's a simple soul charge. Nothing wrong with that. On-play soul charge is always good for Dark Irregulars, so this one gets an A. No, but seriously, this card is fine. There are probably better options you could play, but if you just wanted like some free soul charge without having to use resources, then this card is pretty good for that. So moving on, we have her V version, which goes as follows. Auto rear, at the end of the battle that attacked a vanguard, cost, put this unit into your soul, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. This is an okay effect. It does build you soul, and it does remove your opponent's resources, or rear guards, which is pretty good. It's a bit closer to what Shahar wants to do, at least initially in its original incarnation. So I would say if you want the more tire heavy, this is the card you play. And then Act Soul, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, return this card to your hand. Again, I don't think that effect is ever really getting used unless you just really want this card back in your hand for some reason. The card isn't that great. There aren't too many scenarios where I could really see anyone playing this. Overall, this one is it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs to be just not great overall, is all I'm trying to say. Anyways, we do have one more grade 2, and that will be, sorry. And that would be Covetous Succubus. I hope I said that right. Covetous Succubus goes as follows. Auto Generation Break 1, Darkness. Counterblast 1, when this unit is placed on RC, you may pay the cost. If you do, soul charge 1. If the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, countercharge 1. And then, if it is 10 or more, draw 2 cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So, this is a card that gains effects based on how many cards you have in soul. Obviously that's going to be good in Shahar. It gives you soul, which is nice. It gives you countercharge, which is really nice in Dark Irregulars. There are a lot of cards that countercharge in Dark Irregulars. And then it gives you some draw power on top of that, which is also nice. Overall, this card is really good. And all of this for a simple counterblast. It's basically free if you have 10 or more, which is not 10 or more isn't hard to get in Dark Irregulars with your soul, so this one is really nice. It's a really good utility card that I think that you can play pretty much in any build of the deck you want to. I don't know if you would play it like consistently, but it's definitely a good option if you just have a slot and you don't know what to fill it with. This is maybe one to think about. Let's move on to her V version, which is Continuous Guardian Circle. If your soul has 6 or more cards, this unit gets power +5. If it is 10 or more, it gets +10 instead of 5. Auto RC, once per turn. When this unit attacks, if your soul has 6 or more cards, put one of your rear guards into your soul and countercharge 1. Then if your soul has 10 or more cards, draw 2 cards, choose a card from your hand, and put it into your soul. So this is actually better. This is pretty much just straight up better. It's a shield if you need it. If you need some more shield, this is pretty much always going off, because you're always probably gonna have 6 or more. If your soul has 6 or more, the counter charge is really nice. You don't have to counterblast for it anymore, meaning that she actually pluses you instead of just breaking even on that. And then she draws you cards, but instead of discarding, you put that card into your soul, fueling your effects and plays more. So overall, I would say this is just a straight up upgrade to the original card. If you want to play, you can still play the original card. I still think the original card is good, but this is just pretty much better in every scenario that I can really think of. So yeah, just really nice card that just pluses you instead of breaking even for the most part. So yeah, definitely a 4 of if you want to play this in really any Dark Regulars deck that needs counter charge at least. All right, and moving on to the grade 3s. We're finally here. So the first grade 3 we have is the boy himself, the man, the myth, Scharhrot Vampire. He goes as follows: Continuous Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 2. During your turn, if your soul has 6 or more cards, this unit gets +10, and if your soul has 10 or more cards, it gets a critical +1. That is really good. The Generation Break 2 here is really good. You get an extra crit, you get some more power. It makes your Vanguard a lot more threatening. It makes him a 21k double crit attacking Vanguard. That's really nice. Not too much to say there. And then Auto VC, when your G units stride during your turn, cost counter +1, soul charge 2, just one of your Vanguards, and he gets Auto VC. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your soul has 6 or more cards, your opponent chooses one of the rear guards and retires it. So, this is pretty good. It's a counterblast to advance your soul a bit, which is always good in the Dark Regulars deck. And then it allows you to retire, which is one of like the kind of gimmicks that Shahar has. But yeah, overall this is a great card that you would want to play in your Shahar, and it gets better with a certain stride that we'll talk about very soon here. But yes, this is for all intents and purposes still a pretty good card. Nothing to really complain about here. Moving on, we have a different version. So units, sir, a lot of the units in G would actually get different versions of themselves throughout the series, and Scharhrot got that treatment. He got 2 different versions from his initial one, and we're going to talk about the first one. Or is it the first one? I believe it's the first alternate one he got. Yeah, one who scatters sin, Scharhrot. So this grade 3 goes as follows: Auto VC, when your G units stride, you may soul charge 2, and if you do, and the number of cards with the darkness ability in your soul is 4 or more, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. Then Auto VC and RC, Generation Break 2, darkness, active cards of blah, 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 into your soul this turn. When this unit attacks, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, until the end of the battle, this unit gets power +5, and your opponent cannot call grade 0. So, much like Doppel Vampire, this has the Doppel Vampire effect on the back half, which is not bad. Generation Break 2 isn't hard to get, and it much like the first one, advances your game state a bit by putting more cards into your soul, and sorry, and it retires a rear guard. Actually, this one might be a little better because it doesn't require countless. It just requires you to have 4 or more cards with darkness in your soul. Which, if you're playing a deck, Dark Regulars deck, and you're playing a bunch of cards with darkness, that's not really a bad. Yeah, no. I think this one is good. I think you would still want to play the original though, just because of the stride I mentioned. But this one is not bad. It's definitely got, like, if you want to play this one over the original, perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially because there's counter charge options. It's just, this one is a bit more free if you're playing a lot of cards with darkness is all. And so his second version that he got was one who proceeds towards daybreak Scharhrot. So let's see what this one does. Auto VC, when your G units stride, you may soul charge 2. If you do, choose the card with the darkness ability from your soul, put it into your hand. Choose up to 1 card from your hand and put it into your soul. Auto VC Darkness. Choose one of your grade 1 or greater rear guards and put it into soul. At the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retires it. If the number of cards in your soul is 8 or more, you counter charge 1. So this one doesn't really have any cost except for putting more things into your soul, which is always good. The first effect is okay. Once again, when you're drinking a stride, you get more soul immediately, and then you get some recursion, and then it basically replaces itself because you put something into your soul. This one is okay. I don't see many applications for it just because there are better counter charge options as well as soul charge options in general. You're probably never playing this unless I don't even know if I actually didn't look. I don't think this card is cheap though, so you would probably just play like OG Scharhrot. Once again, it's just better overall than this. And now, let us get into the grade 4s. So the grade 4s for Shahar are, well, the G units, and we're going to talk about one of those G units right now. Now, this G unit that we're about to talk about was actually eroded heavily in the most recent history collection for Premium and V. So, the first one we have here is Love Tempest Kiss Kill Lyra. And the stride step cause choose 1 or more cards from your hand, the sum of them being grade 3 or greater. Discard them. Stride this from your VC from face down. This one actually has a G-Zone effect. So act G-Zone if your Vanguard is grade 3 Scharhrot if your Vanguard is a grade 3 Scharhrot Vampire and you did not get an imaginary gift this fight, cost. Choose 1 or more cards from hand with the sums of them being grade 3 or greater, discard them, and stride this card stride up from face down. Then cost, turn a card from G-Zone with the same card name as this unit face up. You get 2 imaginary gift protect. And then its second is continuous VC. This unit's when attack hits effects activate even if the attack did not hit. And then it's when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, soul charge 2, your soul has 6 or more cards, draw a card. This card is really good. So first off, that G-Zone effect. Not sure why. Does it say face down? No. Because how G-Zone affects okay, but this card's really good. So 1, you get 2 protects, meaning that you could play the V version of Shahar, but you would only get 1 protect. Here, if you play the original, you get 2, which is really good, because Protect 1 is actually a PG, meaning that you don't technically have to run PGs in the deck, I'd still advise you do, just in case. I would still advise you do, so that way you have like a multitude of cards. But yeah, really great. You can use Protect not only for guarding, but also for discard effects as well. And the Soul Charge 2, if you saw 6 or more cards, that's probably always going off. You're always going to have around like 4 cards in Soul. And then Soul Charge 2 just gets you to 6 pretty much almost immediately. So you're probably going to have more than that. So you're always getting that draw card, which is nice. It advances your Soul more. Overall, this card is amazing. There's no reason why you shouldn't play this in your Shahar deck, like at all. So moving on, we have the other grade 4, which is the Shahar specific stride. This is one steeped in sin, Scharhrot, the typical stride, and then it has Auto VC Generation Break 2, Darkness, Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, put all your rear guards into your soul. This gets plus 10 until end of battle. And if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, retire all of your opponent's rear guards. And then if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call cards with the Sentinel ability from hand to GC. So, this is really cool. It's not the best card by a landslide. Obviously, it's not going to be your first stride just because it's Generation Break 2. You're probably going to ride the other one first, then go into this. But this is not bad by any means whatsoever. It's a simple Counterblast 1. I do wish the card got plus 10 for every card that was put into your soul, but then maybe the card would be a little broken because then it would have like an insane amount of power, and your opponent can't use PGs or Sentinels at all. So that's pretty crazy. And obviously retires all of your opponent's rear guard, which is one of the main things for Shahar. And it has that guard restrict as well, which is also another thing for Shahar. So overall, I do think you should play this in your Shahar deck. Just, obviously, don't make it your first stride. Yeah, this is good stuff. Nothing more to say here. Definitely should play it. And I just realized I didn't go over the V version of Shahar. I'm a professional, I swear. The V version of Scharhrot Vampire goes as follows. Auto VC at the beginning of your battle phase. All of your front row units get power plus 1 until the end of turn for each card in your soul. Auto VC when it attacks costs Counterblast 1 instead of one of your front row rear guards. If your soul has 13 or more cards, stand 2 rear guards instead of 1. This is good. Like, I don't need to explain to you why this is good. Restanding in Dark Irregulars is a very rare effect. So the fact that this card has it, and the fact that it has a condition to stand 2, which that condition will probably always be met in Dark Irregulars. Freaking crazy. The power gain is amazing. It will make your front row units absolutely massive. So yeah, overall this is a great card. It's always going to be a great card. I just wish it was a little cheaper. But yeah, no, this is a great card. I don't know if you would play it in premium, but obviously this is your only option in V, so you have to play it in V. But it's a pretty good deck in V, paired alongside Gestiles. So in premium, it's a little hard to quantify. I think you would just want to play OG just because. Yeah, I think you would just want to play OG, just due to the fact you get the 2 protects. This would only give you 1. I think you would play OG. You're more favored to play the OG, because of that. But if you want to play the V version, if you just have the V version lying around, or if you just want to play the V version, you can play the V version. No one's stopping you. You'll still get 1 protect at the very least. So, yeah. And overall, so some combos, I hope I laid them out pretty well. Some combos you can do, obviously, would be like, as I laid out, like with the 1 grade 1, you can put them behind each other. Actually, what's funny, you could actually use this in tandem with that grade 1 we talked about, and if you have the grade 1 in your front row, it will be gaining not only for its own effect, but also from Scharhrot's effect, meaning it will be gaining like plus 30k each Oh, dude, I gotta test that. I gotta test that. That sounds crazy. It doesn't sound good, but it sounds crazy. Overall, uh, uh, I'm not like the most combo genius, so figure out the combos for yourself for the most part. I'm not a genius. I hope I explained the cards all pretty well. I hope I laid out all of their positions in the deck. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is probably going to be a long one, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.